Hello everyone and welcome to Brain versus Heart. Today's topic is, are INFPs prone to jealousy? Let's start off by saying that every personality type is prone to jealousy. Jealousy is a very human trait, and the level of jealousy, depending on certain circumstances, usually depends on the upbringing or experience that that specific person had, no matter the personality type. For those of you who don't know, I am an INFP, my husband is an INTJ. Both of us have had problems with people cheating on us and taking advantage of us in the past. As a result, my INTJ seems to be a lot more jealous and possessive when it comes to the opposite sex, where I've met other INTJs that weren't as jealous, especially those who are very confident in themselves. It's not that they don't get jealous per se, but they don't need to show it as much because they have a little bit more control of the circumstance. An example is my uncle. He's also an INTJ. He doesn't really get jealous because he's very confident that he is the best that his wife can do. I know it sounds narcissistic, but if you knew my uncle, you wouldn't even think that. He's very well built, he's very charming, he has mastered the art of being social with people. Sometimes he messes up and says the wrong thing, but for the most part, being an older INTJ who's had more socialization, he's learned how to deal with specific things or feelings. One of my younger cousins is an INTJ, like his father, and the only time I've ever expressed him being jealous of something is when he's jealous of his bigger brother, and he tries to undermine him by testing his intelligence. It's not that my older cousin is stupid, he's very bright, but my younger cousin, his younger brother, usually makes better arguments. And instead of being emotionally jealous the way that his older brother is, he seems to be more intellectually jealous. It's a weird kind of thing. So you won't really recognize his jealousy unless you pay attention to the undertone or why he's making the argument. My husband has done something similar when I'm talking with someone, and many guys have done this, not all, but many guys do this. It's not just an INTJ thing, but I'm talking about a guy or someone who I've worked with or a specific family member or friend, and he will say something, even though the person has a lot going for them, he will say something negative about that person to try and make that person look more unappealing to me. Now, as an INFP, we also will get jealous. I think that the level of jealousy that we get, I'm a little bit more on the jealous side because I've had a lot of people take advantage of me or cheat on me. My husband has also, when we were in our dating phase, thought that certain things were okay and they weren't, either because he was ignorant or he just didn't have experience with knowing what the right thing was to do. So there were certain things that other people would be like, yeah, obviously that is not okay if you're in a relationship, but to him it wasn't a big deal. And when I found out about it, of course, I was very, very hurt by it. So nowadays, I tend to get a little jealous if I know that like he's talking to another female, even though in my logical brain, I know that it's not a big deal. But I think a large part about that is the trust factor. And when you've heard an INFP, it takes a very, 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 very long time to gain that trust back. They may be cordial with you, they will still love you, and if they decide to still stay with you, I married my husband, I still have those issues because of stuff he's done in the past. He's not a bad person, and he hasn't done anything really, really horrible. I don't want you guys start going at it, but I also don't want to tell you that's his story to tell if he chooses to. It's just something that was definitely not okay, and it hurt me. He realized in that moment how much it hurt me, and it kind of dented the relationship a little bit because he is trying every day since that time to earn back that trust, and he's been really good with it. There were times where he messed up and then the whole thing started all over again, because when you're building back that trust, this person's going to be paranoid about you. You have to understand that no matter what your personality type, if you've been hurt by someone, especially someone that you poured your love into, it is going to hurt that much more, and you are going to be that much more wary of that person. There were times where I'd like to go out and do things just off the cuff, and if you guys know INFPs, we like to change things up. We like to be spontaneous. We'll be doing a routine and change it up just to throw you off. We don't like being tracked. So when I decided to do that and started going out every day, of course, my INTJ got very wary. And because he's been cheated on before, it matched the pattern of what was going on with his girlfriends before. So of course, he got really jealous and very paranoid. I too get that way because of what I explained before. So to answer your question, if somebody is dating an INFP, if you're an INTJ and you know that your INFP is sensitive, if she acts a certain way, you can recognize when she's jealous. Be aware, is it something that you did? Is it something that people in the past did? You have to understand also that if people in the past have hurt this person, they are going to be wary of everyone after that, including you, because every other person might have said the same thing. I'm not your past. I'm not like that person over there. I'm not like this person. And since we're very sensitive and we love hard, we tend to let our guard down. And when we let our guard down, that's when it happens. So it's very rough. It's very rough, and it's to be expected that people are going to get jealous. Now, it depends on why they're getting jealous. Also, that's a very big factor. Now, one specific person had asked a while back if it was normal that his INFP girlfriend was getting jealous jealous over a girl that he was hanging out with that both of them were friends with at the same time, and they could talk about stuff that the INFP couldn't talk about with her partner. An example is, let's say that this guy has a passion for comics and his INFP girlfriend does not have a passion for comics, but the friend they both met does have a passion for comics. And so when he tries to bring up that conversation with his INFP girlfriend, she's not into it, but the INFP girlfriend will recognize that he'll spend hours on the phone with this other girl talking about comics. And it's a problem because, of course, she's a female. Yes, definitely INFP will get very upset over that. It's not her fault and it's not the guy's fault either. And if the guy's an INTJ, he really won't see it that way. However, there's this really weird thing that happens, and you can't really blame females or males for feeling this way. Instinct is rooted within us. So if a male sees that his girlfriend is hanging around another male a lot, let's say the INFP has a male friend that they both met and she spends a lot more time with that male friend than she spends with her boyfriend, the INTJ guy, he's gonna have a problem with it. And if he doesn't have a problem with it, but he's not the jealous type or he doesn't care at all, then to be quite frank, you're being stupid. Because by you allowing that, it sounds weird, by you allowing that, maybe the girl won't feel that way, but there's a connection that is going to start forming, especially if you guys don't have some common ground that you guys can enjoy. I don't know in certain situations when people ask these questions if they just have nothing in common with the people that they're with. It just sounds like there's this one thing that the guy likes, it's a really passionate thing, and the girl doesn't like it, so he forms a connection with another girl, or both of them did. They like this friend, both of them like the friend, but he spends more time with the friend than his girlfriend because they have this thing he's passionate about. That can become a problem because, of course, the girlfriend or boyfriend in that situation will start to get jealous. So what do you do in the situation? It's important that you both find a common ground, something that you both love, and you talk about it or you spend time together. And I think what is most important, if you can help it, for healthy relationships, spend more time prioritizing and working on the relationship with the person that you're with than another person of the opposite sex. My husband would not be okay if I had a male friend and I was spending more than half my time with the male friend than with him. If I'm spending more time with this male friend than I am with him, it is what it is. It's biology. I'm forming a connection with this person. I am connecting with this person more than I'm working on my relationship. And the same goes with the guys and the girls, especially with guys, because it's not your fault. You're predisposed to want to mate with as many women as possible. So that connection will start. And even if you don't feel it, the woman who is with you might form that connection with you. It will become a problem. It will become like a little barrier in the relationship with the person that you're with. That is why, unfortunately, a lot of affairs happen when guys are working at an office and they see a female daily more times than they see their wife or their girlfriend. More people cheat in those situations than are not. It sucks, but it is what it is. Usually you form a bond with people that you work with. I'm not saying that this happens all the time, but that is generally what happens. So, as I said, if this is a problem and you know especially that your INFP is jealous about it or she feels a certain way about it, you can assure her and say you don't feel anything for this person, but you have to also show her through your actions. You just telling her that isn't going to mean anything. You working on the relationship and trying to find something that is common between both of you, that's what's going to help. And if you guys don't have anything really common and you're only together because you're attracted to each other physically, that relationship is not going to go anywhere. The reason why my husband and I actually really like each other is because we like video games, we like TV shows. There's a lot of stuff that we have in common. He's a techie. I'm not as much a techie as he is. I love equipment. I love technology, but he actually knows how to program and do all that stuff. So that's something that we can talk about, but I don't understand it the way he does, even though I'm interested in it. So he'll talk to other people outside. Now, let's say he found someone who is a female who is also a techie, and he spent more time talking with her about these specific things. There wouldn't be a problem with that per se, unless it started to interfere with the relationship and he was spending more time with that person than with me. I would have a problem with it, to be honest, off the bat anyway, because I'm like, okay, here's this female that's connecting with my husband and they're a little bit too close. Would he be okay with me connecting with a guy and being close with that person that I have common ground with? You have to learn how to disconnect. You have to know to socialize with people. There's nothing wrong with socializing with people, but if this person is in the middle of your relationship and it's taking up too much time and it's starting to hurt the other person, you're running a very high risk there, losing the other person. You have to figure out which one is more important. It sucks. It is what it is when it comes to different genders. Unless, of course, the girl is a lesbian and she's into girls. That's a different story. So I hope that answers that question. It's not just an INFP or INTJ or ISFP thing. Everybody gets jealous. And people are more predisposed to being jealous, especially if they've been hurt. And if they have been hurt, whether it's been by you or other people, if you really value that person hanging around for the long haul, it is important that you show that person through your actions, not through just saying it, that you are their priority. Anyways, if you guys have any other suggestions, just write into askbrainversusheart@gmail.com, or you guys can leave in a comment. If you guys want to be more personal with stuff, you can send in the email, change your names, or do whatever you have to. Even if you give your real names, I'd say don't do that. But if you want to give me your real names and I make a video later on, or we make a podcast later on, we will change your names to protect your identity. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.